Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Lockdown Euros, where we have our second first round or group stage matchup, whatever you want to call it, between Turkey and Switzerland. You see the team's very kind of simplistic here, no informed, just straight goal players. Thought I'd see how it goes, see how it can handle itself. Again, we were kind of in, I can't remember if we were in default at the time, we might have fallen back down to 5. But I don't know what it was about this team, just something was incapable about mostly making chances but also taking chances, which is going to hold back our ability to get points drastically. Also not too good at keeping goals out either, as a matter of 15 minutes in we are 1-0 down. No, that is all that happened in the first half, we weren't getting battered too hard, but what I will say, you see the stats were very much in his favour there. These first two games, literally for time reasons, I've limited the amount I was suffering essentially. Yilmaz puts that one wide and something about taking chances. Him and specifically had a real hard time in front of goal, which is always going to spell Turkey trouble when their main goal scorer isn't living up to standards. Or what their standards are, I don't know. See a second and now a third go in for Mayosi Perez. We are just getting peppered by the objective card. Very late on, just for final whistle, I'm desperate for it to come. He does get that fourth in, which just looked incredibly weak, from Hamdallah, who I have got a friend who is subbing him on. Well, you know him, Tobe, and he does say he's a monster as much as he looks like he wants to serve you kebab on the weekend. He is apparently doing a lot of business for him, so fair play to the card, but the one solitary point we get from that game is match rating for Turkey, and that is through Caner Erkin, sorry. I assumed that I knew his name better than I did. Second game here, another one littered with special cards, the only normal being the Gea. As we'll see how I handle ourselves in this one. Very early on again, we're suffering from corners of all things. Sommer lets it in his near post, which is just very weak from him. I do probably, if anyone on this team expect better from, it's probably him. We get a bit of space with Shaqiri down the right. We do try and get back inside, which we do, but that shot is blocked. It does go out for a corner. And from this corner we do put it onto the head of Yilmaz, but again can't do enough to get past the hair. Again, we actually are getting some chances in this one. I mean, me knowing how it ends up, it's kind of weird seeing chances now. Yilmaz again on his left foot, always going wide. I'm saying he just could not take a chance for love nor money. Squeeze a bit of space with Mariano here. I think I've got the tackle, haven't. Does somehow manage to pull it across and get to second, and that'll be half time. So again, this one's looking like it could end up being a lost cause as well. The stats were actually even this time in comparison to the last game where we were getting peppered, but it doesn't do much for us, as very early on in the second half he does get a ball into De Bruyne, and that 99 card's never going to miss. I didn't expect to come up against it this early. I believe at the time of filming, like, the card was obviously very fresh. It's still rather fresh now, and probably worth in the region of 4 million coins. Whoever he packed it or got it in a guarantee, and that's very fortunate. I'm not aware if he's got the ability to purchase it, which judging by some of the other players he probably hasn't, unless he wanted a not so great, well, it's still a great team, but not proper foot champs sweat using the Marianos and normal De Gea's. I don't think he would have purchased him for 4 mil and had a team like that around him. You see, that does end up a very vicious 5-0. We don't add from our shots in the first half, we kind of just fell away, and this just was not a nice time to be playing the game, if I'm honest. This team here is a bit more bearable, it has got a couple icons, but a lot more normal cards, which we're going to have to hope to see, and when we do, take it for as good as we can. But again, it doesn't go well. I can't tell you what minute that was scored in, but we do go 1-0 down there. It's the classic glitch of not being able to see your own players' names at the bottom, as well as the time and score in the top left. Happened, that glitch at the start of the game, which was fixed after he scored, but yeah, at the time of scoring I was completely unaware. We do come forward again here, defeat Yilmaz. I decided to get back to Mbola to see if he can finish, and it appears he can. So our first goal scored in the third game, almost half time of third game, is rather embarrassing. I'm not proud of it, but that's just the way it was going. It was very tough with this team, and I can't exactly picture why. I thought it might get a bit nicer at the start of the Euros, thinking at least I'm using all goal teams, but these all goal teams can't live with the teams I'm playing either. I thought it might have just been using Macedonian silvers and stuff that was in the hard part, and if you saw the playoffs of Macedonian silvers, although mostly golds, will have to make a reappearance. You see full time there, we do lose that one 2-1, I believe very late. Luckily for us, the loss doesn't mean too much, and if anything, it probably helps me out in terms of division. See, the man of the match, I believe, went to a Kanji there. At least I think it did off memory. That's another point to Switzerland. Regardless, it went to a Swiss player, and they have a 1.5 point lead here. To be third game, 3 games down, and it's going to be 3 to 1.5. I was really fearing how long this would be, and I might have just, these first 2 games initially I cut last because I wasn't sure how much the other games would take up, and I thought there may have been a possibility. I just had to show that I got battered 4 and 5-0 and show you the match rated player, because that's how much I was thinking this could end up being a long one. I'm talking 7-8 games. Fortunately for us, it isn't that, as you will see. We get Zachariah for on goal here. That's saved, unfortunately. The fact that we're trying to look to our CDM, well, I think he's naturally a CDM, but obviously we're playing him centre mid, and obviously he can play there. It's not one who's like strictly CDM. The fact that we're looking to him to try and score, he's looking kind of desperate at that point. And Bolo does rob Ronald Koeman of all people there, does get inside, back inside him, does a nice bit of work there, and a finish similar to his previous one. Does seem to be one of the only players capable of scoring, and I say that because he literally is the only player who has scored to this point. Stats are in our favour for once at half time, and we do have a lead as well, which again is absolutely rare. We do manage to slip through Shaqiri here. Can't quite get the pullback we're looking for. Do eventually get it, but it is saved, and Bolo can't match his previous finishes with that one. So he looks to come forward here. Bit fortunate in getting through, I'd say, the way it bounces off Rashford's neck, I believe. He does get into the path of Hazard, moves it further to Salah, and that actually is quite a good save from Sommer, just throws himself in the way. But a poor throw out. Mariano does cut out. Thought he'd finally done something good and we could praise him, but a poor throw out, and we almost pay the price for it. It's the post, but it does fall back into his hands. And later on in the game here, we move again down Shaqiri's right. We do get into the path from Bolo, seeing if we can take another chance. A bad chip attempt, but the goalie is behind it, and it is saved. Areola it is. And you'll see here I move completely from the goalie down this left hand side. Erkin and Çalhanoğlu exchanging. Erkin does move further forward and further down the pitch. Sees the ball that can now be opened up into Yilmaz. Try to pace it towards the byline, get that cut back all the way to Shaqiri, and finished well. But generally a nice goal in amongst all the suffering we've had so far this episode. And it does move Turkey up to a solitary 2, but Switzerland's the halfway mark at 5. And that is enough for this guy. I don't blame him to be the only person who's lost to me so far. I'd probably want to leave as well. He's not aware of the previous people, but if he was, he'd probably be very disappointed in himself to go 2-0 down to us. And I like to think myself as not bad. I can get goal 2 on weekends when I try, but I'm pitching myself a challenge like I am, and big rivals with these teams is always going to make me look worse than I probably am. Match rating there did get to Switzerland, and it does take them past the halfway point. Again, this is a very weird team, as many good red picks and icons as you see, and some pretty like normal Spanish players in there, and Spanish league players. Whether it's for an objective I wasn't aware of at the time, I'm not sure. Something to do with regular, maybe, I'm not sure. I didn't completely check him because I was never interested in doing him. But regardless, we're playing him. We are kind of fortunate to get that one in, but I feel like with the suffering we've had in the first 3 games especially, there is no fortune. This is just karma really. I've suffered, so I hopefully get to live a few more positive things in games now. Sommer does make another good save there. So if we bring it forward again here, in Bolo, does sit the defender on his arse, gets through to Yilmaz. Does shift back onto his left, but the keeper's only have to make a save. He just stands in the way, and he probably is aware of Yilmaz in front of him and knows he is no threat. He probably really has let Turkey down. I don't think there was any better forward I could have chose. I mean, people have played FIFA for a while know who Yilmaz is. Back when the Super League, the Turkish Super League, was a more of a usable league, he was someone you'd turn to get some goals. Aspas does slip through here, and I am fearing the worst. I think Babu does enough to tame the shot down for Sommer to save. Again, he builds up here with Ayour into the path of Rashford. A bit of open space here, and you can see the pullback already. He does see it himself, and he does finish it off. But Yilmaz in the box here does get tackled by Ferdinand. Very poor ball forward from him, which we do tackle. Into the feet of Mbolo. Unfortunately for us, can't score again, and does crack the post. which would have potentially been a winner for us and would have got Switzerland right near winning. And Bolo does slip through Zachariah here. A nice touch pass Ferdinand. Try and make some space for a shot. It is safe, but it does rebound to him, and it does retain this the assist. It isn't a Swiss maybe if it comes from a Swiss player, which it did, and moves him up to 9. So Switzerland are probably aware at this point that a highest match rated player at the end of the game would be enough for them to win, as he does get last few chances here. Potentially could nick the win off us, but it is saved well by Sommer, closes the angle down. They probably are aware with Zachariah getting both goals this game, there's a high chance he gets the highest match rated player as well, and does end it for us in Switzerland, which I'd just be very happy to take. I didn't want to play any more games with these teams. I used to like Switzerland as a nation, they were kind of like a follow-up of mine. I used to build Swiss teams for fun, but their quality's kind of dropped, and a lack of special cards does make it hard for me to use them now. But yes, Zachariah does get the rating. He is their hero in the last game. 3 points in that game simply scored by him, as you will see here. Those 2 goals came in the last game. The fact that I can only show the top scorer with a 2 and Yilmaz's top assisting with 2 shows how rough it was. But regardless, a 10-2 win for Switzerland. It is rather emphatic, despite how painful it was. And next episode you will see Belgium versus Finland, which is one-sided. Belgium are a superior team. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.